Welcome. We are delighted to have you all here this evening to welcome you to this panel. And my name is Camille Buckner. I'm a faculty member in the psychology program at Marymount University, which is located in Arlington University. I'm also a coordinator for the Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Campus Center here at Marymount. We'd really love to hear from you, especially where you're joining us from. So if you want to we want to welcome you. If you want to say where you're coming from in the chat, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know where you're joining us from. I know a lot of you are probably coming in from Arlington, but if you're coming from other places around the country, we'd like to hear that too. Ah, California, Texas. Nice. Arlington. Hello, Eva. Virginia folks represent. Well, welcome everyone. Oh, Oregon, nice. Alexandria. Okay, keep it coming. You can keep that coming in the chat. The panel tonight is called Pathways to Heartwork, Building Community Through Indigenous Art and Poetry. And we're honored to be here tonight with poet Tanaya Winder, beadwork artist Martha Berry, and digital artist Weeya Calif. These are three immensely talented women, and their levels of creativity inspire me, and they're really off the charts in terms of their creativity. Before introducing them, I would like to offer a land acknowledgement and a call to action. Marymount University sits on the homelands of the Manahoic, Doeg, Nacotchtank, and Piscataway peoples, who are the original inhabitants of Arlington County and the greater DC metropolitan area. Land acknowledgements are important because people's stories matter and because they prompt reflection on who gets to tell the stories and how they are told. Stories are always embedded in place and communicate a lot about our relationships with the earth. And despite what many of us learned in school, Indigenous peoples are not solely of the past. They live and breathe and work in communities all around this region and nation, creating beauty, as you'll see tonight, and leading the way in some of the most essential human rights and environmental justice work of our time. We offer our deepest gratitude and respect to the Native peoples who lived in and cared for and continue to live in and care for this beautiful region. In our TRHT work at Marymount, we're committed to centering Indigenous voices and cultures while not shying away from telling truth about the shameful history of this nation and displacing and attempting to decimate this land's first peoples. Being honest about this past is the first step on a path that allows us to come together in community to create a more just and equitable society and continue the process of healing. I'm going to invite Eva Carney into let's find Eva, into the panel for a minute, and I'll tell you why. So this is Eva Marie Carney, and another opportunity from land acknowledgements. There are also opportunities to call people to action. And I'd like to do this right now with a specific request of you, the people here in attendance, that you offer some type of support to the Kwek Society. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Kwek Society. Eva Carney is here. She founded the Kwek Society, which is an Arlington-based organization, in 2018. We're really happy to have you here, Eva. Eva's a dual citizen of the US and the citizen Potawatomi Nation. She's a human rights lawyer and a CPN legislator. Kwe'k of the Kwek Society means woman, women in the Potawatomi language. And the Kwek Society works to end menstrual inequity, and period poverty in Native American schools and communities across North America. Too many students miss school because they don't have access to period products, and it's Kwek's mission to reverse this trend and share educational materials that center menstruators and Indigenous teachings about periods. So what can you do specifically to support Kwek? I have a flyer that I will drop in the chat. So that will give you some concrete steps, things that you can click on to do more or do something to support Kwe'k. It can be a variety of things. You can follow them on social media at the Kwek Society on Instagram or at Kwek Society on Facebook and Twitter. And you can help share their posts and boost their posts. You can also learn more about Kwe'k and about period poverty. You can organize a period supplies drive, or you could donate money or period supplies if you're able to do that. I'm going to pause for a moment to give you a chance to check out the information that I just put in the chat. So if you look in the chat, there's now a flyer in there that you can click on that will give you links to ways that you can support Kwe'k and also ways that you can learn more about the work that they're doing right now. So I would just like to ask Eva, if at this point, is there anything else that you would like to add or say?
Just miigwech, thank you for raising awareness about our work and for your support, Camille, as we've kind of talked about the issues surrounding period poverty and centering Indigenous people a little bit more than we currently do in our society. I invite folks to look at that. That flyer looks great. I'm going to use it for other things. And
okay, cool.
I just look forward to hearing from this terrific panel. So thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you coming. So I have a few more acknowledgements to make. I want to give a big thanks to my colleagues, Sarah Hallisey, Barb Kreutzer, Susan Agolini, who are all here, and to two students, Maya Hoonan and Charlie McCall, for their hard work in bringing our PATH project to life. And we have really dear friends in the library. I think they're here tonight. Anna and Katie have been really big supporters. And last but not least, my dean, Marnell Niles Goins, and my associate dean, Dale Orth, whose support throughout all of this work has meant a lot to us along the way. Tonight's panel is part of our PATH project. Like I mentioned at Marymount, PATH stands for Pathways to Action, Truth, and Healing. And it is, or it will be when it's more fully realized. It's really a work in progress. It's an educational tool, a call to action that centers Indigenous voices, movements, histories, artists, authors, and it has a particular focus on Indigenous practices of caring for the environment. One part of the PATH that we have set up is a display in our library, and it features the artwork and the poetry of our panelists tonight. And so we invite those of you who are in this region, in the DC metropolitan area, to visit PATH in person and see their artwork up close and personal. PATH is, like I said, part of Marymount's TRHT Campus Center. We did launch this center with grant support from the Lumina Foundation. TRHT is a national initiative. It's really devised by the Kellogg Foundation, who was joined by AAC&U to develop these TRHT campus centers across the country to prompt different university communities to speak truths about the harms caused by racism, to take concrete steps to address the harms, and to prepare students and the next generation of leaders to build more just and equitable communities. So now we're getting to our panel. I think a thread that will run throughout the discussion this evening is Tanaya's notion of heartwork. So in Tanaya's words, heartwork is your purpose combined with passion. It's taking whatever your heart has been charged with and committing to do the work necessary to honor your spirit. Practicing heartwork is to honor your purpose through empathy, compassion, respect, reciprocity, and love. And each member of the panel, in my view, I think, will be describing how they engage in heartwork. And what we'd like to do is invite those of you who are here to think about what your own heartwork is and how you practice heartwork in your own lives as you're listening to the panelists. I do want to cover a few logistical issues before I introduce the first panelist. Each panelist is going to spend about 15 or 20 minutes discussing their craft. And then there will be one Q&A period when the panelists finish. But we really welcome your questions. So all throughout, as you're listening, there's a Q&A section, a tab or a button you can click on at the bottom of your Zoom screen that will allow you to put your questions in for the panelists. And you can put them in there at any point, and we're going to be pulling from those questions when we ask the panelists the questions during Q&A. So if there's a question that's already in the chat that you're really interested in, that you want answered, then upvote that. Just like it, and the more people that like a question, then we'll be more likely to ask that question during the Q&A. So we really want to try to make time for all of your questions, but we'll be trying to ask the questions that most people seem to want to have answers to the most. You can also, during that Q&A period, just raise your hand and ask your question. You can voice your own question during the Q&A if you prefer to do that.